and in 2 weeks molts 4 times and grows to 2,700 times its original size. So I always tell the kids, if they were a monarch butterfly when they were 2 weeks old as a caterpillar, they would have been as big as a school bus. Pretty big. It molts 4 times in those 2 weeks, and this is the 4th molt.
Yeah.
You've seen these.
Yeah, we had a big milkweed.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they're can't eat anymore, when they're ready, they go find something sturdy. And this happens to be on milkweed, but very often they crawl off even as much as 30 or 60 feet and find something like a fence, you know, or underneath a windowsill or something that's really sturdy. And they spin a little silk nubbin and they hang upside down and rest, and then molt a 5th time, and you get the chrysalis. So the chrysalis is the 5th molt of the caterpillar. It's not spun out of silk like a moth cocoon. It's actually a very unusual looking caterpillar skin. So inside this, the butterfly emerges from what was the caterpillar. Turns out that in the caterpillar, some butterfly organs were already developing as the caterpillar developed. But the muscles of the butterfly and the caterpillar are very different. So inside here, the muscles of the caterpillar kind of dissolve and reorganize into butterfly muscles. So it's a pretty amazing process inside the chrysalis. After about 2 weeks, the chrysalis darkens, and some people would say it looks dead. I mean, there's nothing you can see. And then right before eclosure, it gets transparent, and you can see the butterfly inside.
Really?
Yeah. And then the butterfly will eclose shortly after that. That's what the scientists call coming out of the chrysalis. It comes out with tiny little wings and a great big belly. And it uses a fluid, which is hemolymph, which is what passes for blood in an insect, to pump up its wings and dry them in the sun. So it takes 4 or 5 hours for them to dry their wings and be ready to fly.
2 weeks from the chrysalis starting till they start coming out?
Actually, it's 2 or 3 days as an egg, depending on temperature. Roughly 2 weeks as a caterpillar, 10 to 13 days. Roughly 2 weeks as a chrysalis.
Okay.
And then the adults mate right away. So in general, it's kind of 5 or 6 weeks from egg to egg.
Right.
And the adult comes out of the chrysalis ready to mate in the summer. They're sexually mature. The butterfly is the caterpillar's way of making another caterpillar. So that's what they go set about doing. They mate, and she runs off and she finds some milkweed and she lays the 1 egg each under 100 meads, and they don't survive very long after they mate. So the adult butterfly in the summer lives about 2 to 4 weeks. But these butterflies that you're looking at here were born on the last milkweed of the season. Milkweed is a seasonal weed. The butterflies in the summer, 3 generations of them have dispersed across the west here, this side of the Rockies. They've found milkweed in the Central Valley. They found it in the Sierras. They might have gone even up into the Rockies. They may have gone as far as the northern part of, or southern part of Canada. But when these butterflies were born, it's the end of the milkweed season. And there's not going to be milkweed for the caterpillars till spring. So they come out of the chrysalis different. They can put fat on their bodies. They don't mature sexually right away. They put all of that off. No point in mating because there's no milkweed to feed the caterpillars. And they come to a place like this to spend the whole winter. So instead of living 2 to 4 weeks, this winter butterfly that came out of the chrysalis different lives 6 months or more. It flies to a place like this where it can protect itself through the winter. It finds a Goldilocks spot where the temperature's just right, the food's just right, the winds are just right. They move up, down, and around these trees to protect themselves in the winter. It rained really hard this morning. They get knocked to the ground. They come back into the trees. And in late January, early February, just about the time the first milkweed is coming out nearby, they mature sexually. And
the milkweed's the only plant.
It's the host plant for the caterpillars. The adults eat nectar.
Right.
Like most butterflies, they're nectar eaters. But the host plant for the caterpillar is milkweed.